So we're talking about BAS, BAH, and injured pay. So how the pay works here. This will be for any military branch. It's not just the Air Force. Um, Basically, a BAS, that's basic allowance for supplements and or substance or something, and that's basically your food. So they'll pay you 350 a month. There's a cool thing about it is you get free food, but a bad thing about it is if you ever get married or you have kids, your BAS doesn't go up. It's paying for you and for you only. I mean, 350 a month, you can make that last for a family of four kind of deal, but um, they're basically saying that you're gonna eat $10 a day or $12 a day or whatever, and then you do whatever with it what you want. If you're staying in the dorms because you're young like me and you're not married, you'll be in the dorms and they'll make you pay for chow hall. That'll be you get to go to chow hall as many times a day as you want. They have certain hours that they're open, but you just go down there, go get as much food as you want. It's a buffet. You take it back to your room. Everything's free, and that's all paid for. So it's a good deal, but it's not because it's like you could be saving. I could be eating PB&Js every day and saving money, but I'm not. So that's BAS. BAH now. BAH is basic allowance for housing, and that's how they basically pay for your house. So there's a bunch of different ways you can use it. I'm using it here in the dorms to have this nice dorm room. It's all going to that. I don't have a choice. Um, if you're married, or once I think it's 2 years, you live in the dorm for 2 years, and then you can opt to get out, or I don't know if they kick you out. But then at that point, you can be on base housing, or you can go off base and you can rent an apartment, or you can go off base and you can rent a house, or you can go off base and you can buy a house. And they'll have an allowance based on your rank and how many dependents you have. Um, I think after one dependent, so like you get married, you have one dependent, your rate goes up like $300. But then if you have your wife and a kid, it doesn't go up. It's just after that one dependent, it moves, and then if you have two, nothing. So for me, it went from like my BAH is 877 right now or something like that, and if I got married, it would be 1087 or 11 or something like that. So it's pretty cool because I can go out and buy a house, and they basically pay my house payment every month, and that's really cool. Uh, what else on that? So you live in the dorms. You're forced for about 2 years. They're really nice though. I don't think I want to move out of the dorms, but you get started on that house payment. Base housing. Their houses there are really nice. It depends on the base. You can have the same base as somebody who's been in for 20 years. I mean, the same house as somebody who's been in for 20 years, and you can have like just you and your wife. Like a couple guys in my shop, they have base housing, and one guy it's just him and his wife, and they have a freaking house with uh, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's just a big old 2-story house for him and his wife. That's pretty cool. And I don't know if they pay utilities. I think he still has to pay. Actually, on base housing, he doesn't have to pay utilities. I don't think. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure you can find that out if you Google search it. Um, Also, okay, basic pay. How basic pay works? You've probably seen a pay chart. It's basically you get paid. You get 17,000 a year if you're E1. And it moves up by your rank, and then it also moves up by how how many years you've been in. Um, I know the rates for the from E1 to E3 though. It's basically for E1 you come in. I was making $500 a month in basic training because the first 3 months you don't make your full amount for some reason. That's just you can see that on an asterisk down there at the pay charts. That's for every branch, but you make about 500, and then after that you become an actual E1 and you make 5,500. I mean, gosh dang, 550. That's after taxes. It's 550 every 2 weeks, so you're actually making 1,100 a month. And the cool thing about it is, yeah, we already talked about BAS, BAH. Everything's paid for. You know, the only thing you have to buy is dish soap, uh, laundry soap, toilet paper. That's about it. And then you can go from there. There's a lot of people who like to blow it, but if you save it, you can get a lot of money really quick. So just trust me with that one. But if you get up to being an E3, then your pay goes up by 200 bucks. So what I'm making right now is 750 every 2 weeks. It's 1,500 a month, and that's after pay. And I even get the MGIB, which docks off 100 bucks a month. Um, so yeah, if you didn't get that, then you'd be making 1,600 a month. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much how the pay works. There's also different incentives, or there's different pays for going overseas, being hazard pay. You know, if your job requires you to jump out of an airplane, there's a different pay for that. If your job requires you to fly at all, there's a pay for that. These all add like $250 a month bonuses. Um, so basically, you don't. If the real money is when you get deployed, though, because here, if you make that money, you're just going to go out and spend it unless you're real disciplined. Um, but when you get deployed, you can't really spend it. You know, there's not much to do, and also you get all that incentive pay. So there's people who get deployed for 6 months, and they come back with like 15 grand, and you're like, you go out and put it down on a truck, and do whatever you want with it. But it's really good money. It's way better than working a minimum wage job. It's better than working a $10 an hour job. I think I calculated mine out to being 15 bucks an hour I'm making here, not counting sleeping and stuff. But counting sleeping, it's like $4 an hour or something. So yeah, that's BAS, BAH, and your basic pay. Also a little bit of incentive pays. You can check it out more at airforce.com. There's a lot of information on there. There's everything on there. Also Google search and stuff like that. And that's pretty much how your pay works. Do I recommend the Air Force? Hell yeah! Well, it's any military branch, but I like the Air Force best. It's so yeah. Thanks.